All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast sponsored by Draftkings Sportsbook. This is Moose along with Harry Mays. Don't think we're having Danielle today, Harry. I think she's a little tied up down in the Jupiter area with baby Matthews on the way. There's a lot of obligations that comes with that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's the real important stuff.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But we keep it local, Harry. Last week, we had a great show with Ken Phillips, the president of the Golf Association of Philadelphia. Created a little bit of a storm on social media when we talked about favorite courses. Of course, we're going to do that to Mike Bowman at the end of the show. But we would like to introduce Mike Bowman, president and CEO of Valley Forge Tourism, which encompasses Montgo Golf, which is why we're talking to Mike. Let's face it. Welcome to Swing It and Ding It, man.
Thank you. It's great to be on with you guys. Good to see you on a nice sunny day.
Absolutely. So let's start with Montgo Golf, right? Over 50 public and private courses that kind of fall under that purview. Talk about what you guys do, your role in trying to promote those courses and getting people to experience it in different ways.
So it's a great question. Our job is to economically bring people to Montgomery County for things to do. The ultimate goal is to fill all of our hotels, and we have a huge supply of hotels. And Montgomery County, as you guys know, is humongous. It's the third largest county. You have Philadelphia, the Pittsburgh region, and then you have here. And golf is a gem for Montgomery County. And what's interesting about golf is we have 50 plus golf courses, but the golf courses on our border, whether it's a Rodemick, Marion, or some real like premium.
Heard of them? Yep, heard of those.
Are right in our backyard too. So,
yeah.
We having close to 10,000 hotel rooms, the King of Prussia Mall has 25 million people a year go through it. And historic Valley Forge National Park, golf is a natural complement with quality and class and respect and integrity. And we promote golf everywhere. We do a lot internationally. We've rebounded really nice since COVID. We do a lot regionally. And look, at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to have people, stay overnight too and dine. Like I said earlier, we're responsible for $1.7 billion annually in economic impact. We saw golf in 2016 as like, what are we doing? We're not talking about golf right now. We're not talking the way we should be. We certainly weren't out to book foursomes and tee times and various things. We wanted to just get the awareness out at first. And as you guys know, in like 2016, golf was struggling a little bit. It was the younger generation of millennials. We all read about it. We saw it. They didn't like the time. It took too long. They didn't want to join private clubs that the grandfather or the father may or the grandmother belonged to. There was a lot of tentacles that were flying with the golf industry. So we started talking about golf. We're down to the golf show and the PGA show. Partnered up with Jeff Surratt, who's one of the best in the industry. We love Jeff. There's people in the region to just talk about golf. And at the end of the day, our first priority was linking up to the events that took place at the golf courses, because the people coming in for weddings and all that stuff are staying overnight, and spending money. So things are going and going and going, and then COVID comes, and as you know, it's that horrible word, right? And we all know what happened. But if you think back to professional sports, baseball, football, they're doing the cardboard cutouts in the stands, and they're trying to make the experience. Right. It was a disaster, right? And then I think the Masters was one of the first ones. They moved the date, I believe, if I remember right. And we do a lot with CBS and NBC with marketing for the region, and bam, the ratings go through the roof because golf just nailed it with that feeling, that emotional connection, seeing it, normalization. And we started hearing from our partners in the golf industry, man, they're coming back. They want to play. My God, young, old. If they used to play, they're getting the sticks out. They just want to play golf. And it happened everywhere. But we saw an uptick here that just really took off. So we said, hey, we got to raise the bar. We've got to push this even more out there. So we started partnering with the national golf events that are taking place on CBS and NBC. We have commercials that air during those events. In the tri-state region, all the way up to New York, Delaware, South Jersey, and then we're measuring response rates. We're tracking things, and we're seeing they're coming. The cool thing for us with golf and and how well it's doing is the other things to do while you're here golfing. And if you're going to golf, bring the family. If you're going to bring the family, go to Legoland. Go to the Valley Forge National Park. So there's a natural connection. And if you look at behavior coming out of COVID, people just want space. They want their own space on their own terms. And then, the wife or the husband want to golf and that's space, and they can do that, and everyone else can do other things. And, we're certainly not Myrtle Beach. We're certainly not these other destinations. But we have, as you guys know, a lot of rich tradition here with golf.
Yeah, Moose and I like to talk about it in the private club sector as an embarrassment of riches. But when you talk about public golf, the public golf is terrific in this area. I mean, I can just think of 3 courses that I've played numerous times in Montgomery County: Jeffersonville, Turtle Creek, Ravens Claw. I mean, there's tons of really good public golf.
Oh, it just goes on and on and on. And there's a story at all the golf courses. There's history, and then you look at even some of the Ravens Claw of the world. I mean, you go out to Potts, it's a great track. It's a really good track. And not all, but as you guys know, some of the higher end courses and the private courses will allow you to get on. It's just knowing the right people that make the right call. And if you're a member of a club somewhere else in the tri-state region, you have a really good chance of getting on to some of the courses. But the line I use quite a bit when I'm talking to business owners and hotel developers and various people, I think, especially guys like we take it for granted. When you drive down a road, side road or whatever, and you haven't been down that road, for example, and you look through the trees and it's a spring day and you see a green fairway, something, even if you don't play golf, something happens. And you look through the trees, if you're sitting at a red light or whatever, you're like, wow, that looks pretty nice. And as you're driving, your head doesn't leave. You keep looking, right? And you get that green, which is just like magical, right? And there's a quality element to it. And when you have as many golf courses as we have, that's a nice asset to have that complements the area. The other part too is just business. The business world, as you guys know, really got devastated because of people not being back at their offices. But golf started changing. It started getting busier in the afternoons, and things are different, especially on Thursdays. We saw a big shift. We have a lot of life sciences and major corporations in this area, and there's a lot of golfers associated to that world. And they're coming in now more and more with their sticks. They're coming into golf, have a meeting for a day and a half, leave, and play these courses. So we study a lot of behavior, and we're seeing a lot of these shifts more and more that are occurring with golf in our backyard.
What do you see as far as that, the business, the conventions, that type compared to families, vacations, or golf trips? What would you say is kind of the mix that you guys see?
Great question. So we used to be in like 2016, 17, we were at like 45% of the business that we brought into the county was corporate business. 22% was sports, youth sports. We're at 73% youth sports now.
Wow.
The corporate business, I'm looking out my window right now in King of Prussia. There's a real big empty parking lot next to me right now. So the shift has occurred with corporate midweeks. So we're pushing stuff to do midweek now, heading into April and May strong with a campaign. The weekend leisure business is through the roof. It's just unbelievable. People say to me all the time, who are they? Where are they coming from? Right? And we're seeing a lot of families. We see a ton of traffic on our website on Thursdays. And the number one reason why people are on our website is probably women, right? And they're looking for things to do for the weekend.
Yep.
Because they're saying to their husband, I got to get out. We got to get out. We're going somewhere, right? So then we emotionally connect to golf, other things, food, shopping, and these other ancillary things that connect them to come out. Hotels with indoor swimming pools. So if you have young kids, that's a gem. Like this time of the year, it could be a puddle, right? But it's pool, right? For your kids in a pool. But the weekend business is just gangbusters with leisure, families, reunions, weddings, and sports. We're seeing April and June will be the biggest months we've ever had in the hotel sector in Montgomery County ever.
Wow.
With sports coming, with a lot of, and it's crazy sports. It's Quidditch, it's spikeball, it's paintball, but again, this has all changed since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
This has shifted. Golf last season, you guys look at the numbers, you see what's going on, was a great year.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, I talked to several big, golf executives and said, what do you think is going to happen next year, right? And the general consensus, well, it's probably going to stable off a little bit. It's just going to normalize. In the past few weeks, I've talked to a few. Oh my God, we're seeing it already. It's upticking. I mean, people are already booking tee times. They're calling us up. They're jonesing more than ever. They're coming. So I personally think it's going to be like a great year for golf in the region.
Yeah. And then post-pandemic, you also got a Topgolf built, which is right next to a casino hotel. And then you can also take a walk at Valley Forge Park, which is like a mile away.
Yeah, that's a great way. Man, you should come work for us.
Yeah, and then all the great restaurants that are within like a mile of that place. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. You've got the King of Prussia Malls getting ready. They're building Italy.
Yeah.
Which is one of the top Italian restaurants in the country. It's over $20 million restaurant. You've got a lot of this coming to the suburbs. The suburbs more and more are just getting stronger.
Yeah. We're affiliated and partners with the Amateur Golf Society, so I've been exposed to some of the courses because of that, which is awesome. And I think that's such a cool thing that people are getting to see golf courses that they may not have ever gotten on or even knew about to some degree, and now they're able to experience them. So I love seeing partnerships like that. I'm sure that's something you guys really look forward to kicking off this golf season.
Yeah, I really it's. People are, I don't know how to say it. People are just emotionally different than they were 4 years ago, 5 years ago. People are making decisions differently and are looking for quality things to do. We're doing we do a tourism rally every year. It's in April, and we the U.S. Travel comes out with their theme for the year for the country for travel, for tourism, and then everyone has a rally, a media attention. Well, I decided in 2016 we really started getting into golf and something to really focus on golf at the rally. So we have the rally, we have all these elected officials, and then we do a real high-end, nice golf event to focus on golf. We invite a bunch of reporters in to just talk about golf, public or private, doesn't matter. So what we've noticed is like this year we're going to manufacturers. And
love it.
It's sold out. It sells out right away. There's no mulligans, any of that. It's just high-end golf, and then we have some really cool amenities. We bring in the Capitol Grills and various restaurants to be out there, and it's a great event.
Yeah.
Just to talk about golf. Several of the people who come up from South Jersey to play in this event for us, they don't get a chance to play manufacturers.
Right.
They don't get a chance to play the Union League. They don't get a chance to play some of these courses, right? So that's why they're like, we're in. And it's a great day. It's a complete day. It's not, but this year more than ever, it just sold out. We put on social media and it went nuts. What we noticed too is quite a few companies are buying foursomes just to get the women or the guys out for the day to get some fresh air and play golf, but play at one of these nuggets. I don't know if you guys have been in manufacturers, but they get some work to to the course and to the building during the pandemic. It's gorgeous.
And they got all that pickleball over there too.
The pickleball, they built a spectacular bar on top of their pool area, elevated second level, looking out of the whole course.
It's a great view.
It's spectacular. It's,
yeah.
You know, and that's what people are looking for. It's the golf, but it's the experience.
Did they got that funicular running again or what?
Yeah, they were working on it. We were there the other day.
Yeah, we need that.
But that's funny you brought that up, because I don't know how many people have mentioned that to me. They know manufacturers.
Yes.
It's one of those hidden gems.
Yep. Yeah, I know it's 2 years down the line, but you got anything planned for when the major championship comes to the area?
We're all over it, man. Yeah. We did good years ago, Marion. We killed it, and the bad weather helped us. And then the BMW at Arada, I guess I was saying to you guys, we're in a position because we have a lot of full service hotels and things to do. So with the there's going to be 80,000 people at Arada. People don't realize that. America 250, which is going to complement golf like it's never seen in this region, is you've got World Cup soccer. And you've got close to 600,000 people are definitely going to be in this region. Whew. You've got the Major League
All-Star game, yeah.
You've got a Roderick, you've got a Marion hosting an event, right? And you've got a bunch of citywide, the birth of our country. So the Valley Forge National Park is going to be celebrating Independence Hall. There's going to be a lot of people coming to the region internationally. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to push golf and the things to do out to the UK and Germany right now. We just put a plan together saying, hey, get ready. Because the Europeans like to plan their travel like 18 months to 2 years out for leisure travel.
Their holiday.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And they still are focused on that. And then they come out.
And they get so many more vacation days than we do.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
You're at a resort with someone from England? They're like, is this your week's vacation? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we've been here for 4 weeks.
Oh, they've been there for a month. Yeah. And then they're going somewhere else on the way home.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's you guys, what do you guys think about what's happened with golf over the past few years?
Well, we started this podcast a month before the pandemic hit. Right. And I was inspired to kind of start this after Tiger won the Masters. Like it just brought me back in a way that I had never been before. And then, we kind of rode the wave and rode it out with COVID, but we saw just an increase in interests from every different demographic across the board. And it's been so cool to talk to all the different people in the game of golf every week, whether it's locally here in Philly or pros or anything. It's just the excitement level is at an all-time high.
Yeah, I agree with you. The energy is really powerful. And there's a strong connection to it now. And then on a separate note, with golf, courses, clubs, private and public, the events are through the roof. People want to have their events. They've all put focus on their food. And you guys can see that. Last year we played in several events, community events and various things. And Jake, who you met, and I were leaving in October. I think we were playing somewhere. And I said, I don't know if you've noticed, every place we've been pretty much this spring, summer, and fall, there's storyboards in the lobby. Right? There's the renovation of bunkers. There's the new tee boxes. There's the new grill room. Everyone's putting capital. And I come from the business world. When you see capital being infused back into these certain businesses, it's working. And there's a lot of renovations that have taken place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money going back in. That's a great sign.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, we'll get you out of here on this. Now we got Ken Phillips from the Gap in trouble a little bit last week, so we're going to look to do that to you this week. Now remember, folks, this is an opinion, right? People can have them and they can be different.
People get very territorial about this stuff.
Oh yeah.
You're killing me. I know.
So, Mike, let's frame it this way, okay? Your best friend's coming in from the West Coast for a couple days, and you're going to get a chance to take them to a public course and a private course in Montgomery County. Where's your first 2 phone calls?
Well, of course, how can you go wrong with the Union League? I mean,
yes.
I just was out there yesterday for something.
It's fantastic. They're killing it every course.
And they just talk about an experience just from the drive in, from private standpoint, to the antique car out front, to you walk into all the renovations they did, then the course, and they just have a great leadership team out, and all the club, everything they're doing. I personally like Ravensclaw too. I like the track. I like how Ravensclaw. We had the LPGA out there a few years ago with Symetra. I just like the layout, and I think from a value standpoint, they don't gouge you. They operate really good. It's just, to me, it's a good, very good public course. It really is. I really do.
I couldn't agree more. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Mike, we appreciate the time.
Hey, stop by anytime. We'd love to see you guys at our office.
Anything we could do to help with your planning, just let us know. We're there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for what you do for golf. I mean, you guys are doing a really good job. Really
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. Nice to talk to Mike Bowman, President and CEO of Valley Forge Tourism and Montgo Golf. Bluebell, Bluestone, Cedarbrook, Green Valley, Maccoby, Ravensclaw, Gulf Mills, Jeffersonville, Letterack, Lulu, Manufacturers, Philly Country Club, Squires. That's a county, right? It's crazy what we have here. It really is.
Oh, I know. And you're just basically scratching the surface. Yeah, I forgot about Letterack when it comes to public golf. That's terrific in this area. But I've been out there, quite a few times. And I make it a point to get to Jeffersonville at least twice a season.
Still haven't been. I got to get there with you. We had those guys on. I know they were making some renovations in the last off season. That's on my list, man. I got to get there this year for sure.
Absolutely.
So the Genesis Invitational, Harry, not much happened,
No.
Especially on Saturday. No big deal. I mean, listen, Hideki's final round, right? 9 under, 62, finishes at 17 under, goes 3 shots over Zalatoris and Luke List. But, a lot of the stories happened on Saturday, right? You see Tiger Woods on the golf cart. There's rumors of him having back spasms. You're like, oh man, don't tell me this, man. His first event. I've never seen people happier to see someone with the flu in my life.
Well, that was actually Friday.
That
he withdrew. And, because Thursday, you remember the shank, the Tiger shank on the 18th hole with his approach shot. And then you find out afterwards, or at least this is what he said, and I had to take him at his word. He had a back spasm, and it forced him to hosel rocket the thing. He ends up making a great recovery shot, and I believe he made bogey, and he almost made par. And then Friday, he's out there, and people are saying he doesn't look comfortable. People watching him on the range. They watch every move that he makes,
Everything.
right? He can't take a step on that
Poor guy can't eat a cheeseburger without the camera zooming in.
Exactly. Is that an In-N-Out burger? I wonder if it was a bad burger. It's unbelievable. But, that's the world that he lives in. And then you see him I heard about it on 5, the par 4. He marked his ball after he chipped it or putted it up onto the green, marked it and went to the restroom, which is really kind of odd. Like they don't do that unless there's an emergency. They don't leave to go to the restroom until the hole is over, right?
Yeah.
He goes in between shots, and then after the hole was completed, they're walking to the 6th tee. He goes again. Now, this was reported after the fact, of course, but he was obviously in a discomfort. And when he was in that cart being driven back to the clubhouse, he kind of put his head down.
By the way, could he have picked a farther away hole?
I know.
It was like the OJ. They were following that golf cart for like 20 minutes. I'm like, where did I get this guy in?
The white Bronco chase. Yeah. He's at the southernmost tip of the golf course. You're correct. He comes right up 7. It seemed to take – that's a great analogy. I didn't think of that. That's brilliant. And that happened, like a couple of blocks away. Brentwood, the mansion, Rockingham or whatever was the name of the street. That's not far from there. But, yeah, great call by you. Then we get the whole thing with Spieth.
Oh, God.
And that bizarreness.
Yeah.
Where Tom Kim is playing in his group, and I guess was keeping his score. And I remember watching the hole. The 4th is that par 3, the real tough long par 3 that Ben Hogan says is the best par 3 he's ever played. He kind of hooked his tee shot a little bit. It went left of the green. He made a chip and then missed the putt and tapped in for 4. Tom Kim writes down a 3 by mistake, and Spieth goes to the scoring tent. He's feeling ill, leaves the scoring area without really thoroughly checking his card, and signed for an incorrect scorecard because he had to go to the locker room to go to the bathroom.
Unbelievable. It's interesting too. Before we knew that all this sickness was going around, right? Because Cantlay comes out that Cantlay was not feeling well either. Michael Kim, who's a great follow on Twitter, he said that he's seen this happen a handful of times where you sign an incorrect scorecard. He said every time he's seen it happen, he said, is when someone was pissed off or angry or didn't finish well. And he had just doubled, I believe, 18.
Doubled 18, yeah.
And he said that's always the way it happens. You're like mad. You're worrying about going to the range to fix your game. You don't pay as much attention. It was interesting when he said that. I mean, add in the sickness part, and it's like, okay, he might have been holding something back and trying to just get the heck out of there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a wild news cycle, especially on X that night, with all this stuff breaking.
It was crazy. And then you had the ace from Will Zalatoris, which is one of the most unbelievably compressed golf shots I think I've ever seen on television, not hit by Tiger Woods. I mean, it was an unbelievable iron. Just the sound of that thing. And then he gets the Genesis vehicle. He gets one for his caddy. And the embrace that those two guys had after he threw the club in the air was just awesome.
Tremendous. And then it comes out, Daniel Rappaport from Foreplay asks, are you emotional about coming back? Just more about his injury and everything.
Yeah.
And come to find out, he lost a family member on Thursday, and it seemed to be someone very close to him. And it was he got extremely emotional in the post round presser. But I love seeing Zalatoris back.
Oh, me too.
He went broom handle, Harry. I think drastic. He needed to make a drastic move, and I think he did it.
Yeah, and the putting stroke looks so much better, and he's going to win very soon, I believe. But yeah, he goes T2 at 14 under bogey. He made a bogey on 15, but that ace was just unbelievable. And you're right. It's great to see him back, but I'll tell you, Hideki was so impressive.
Man,
yeah, I went through a real range of emotion. I love this tournament. It's my favorite non-major because of the golf course and just the history there. But you started out with thinking, man, Cantlay should win this. He's got a 2-shot lead. He's playing great. He just seems totally in control. He makes all pars on the front and then goes +1 on the back, and it just was never really kind of showed any kind of energy to his round. And then you're thinking, wow, Luke List has taken a hold of this tournament on the front 9. He shot 30. Then he goes through 10, 11, 12. He goes bogey, par on the par 5, which is like a bogey. And then he bogeys again, and he falls down the list. Then you've got 5 guys, I believe, were tied at 14 under at one point in time, all on the back 9. And all of a sudden, Hideki's like, oh, yeah? He put the pedal on the floor and birdied, 15, 16, and 17 all in a row. He made 3 birdies on 3 successive holes 3 times in that tournament. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12. 12 is so hard. I mean, it's hard to make par on that hole for those guys. He birdies it and then goes 15, 16, 17. Just brilliant stuff.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous. Yeah, Cantlay ends up with a T4 with Xander and Adam Hadwin.
Yeah.
I was, messing with Coach, who does a great job. Awesome listening to him on PGA Tour Live.
Oh, yeah.
And then I hit up Michael Collins and asked if he was being paid by the Kikuya.
Oh.
He was killing the Kikuya. I mean, just all over it.
Yep.
And it was
this week it'll be Pass Palom.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody will kill it with Pass Palom this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the shot that Hideki hit on 15 from 189 yards, he hits it to 8 inches. And then on the next hole, that par 3, 160 yards, he puts it to 6 inches. I mean, that if you don't enjoy that stuff, like, I don't know what, even if you weren't rooting for him, it's just like, wow.
When he catches fire, he's tough. I would not want that guy chasing me down. Right?
No,
but like when he has it, man. He and that was it. He found it on Sunday.
And we all remember him for always taking one hand off the club, and the shot usually ends up being great. Like he puts it to 15 feet and you're like, what's he complaining about? He said after the round to something of this order, like the way he felt like he struck the ball, he shot 3 over par.
Wow.
Think about that. He shot 62, and in his mind, he didn't even hit it that good.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Wow.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but listen, great tournament, great final on Sunday. I mean, at one point there was 5, 6 guys all right there.
Yep. All tied at 14 under.
Yeah.
I mean, Hideki, his ninth win. We know he has the Masters, but that's the most PGA Tour wins for an Asian-born player now. So he passed KJ Choi. So he's now number one.
I'm checking real quick because I have a feeling. Yeah, I mean, he definitely jumped up on the Masters board. Now he's at 2,800. I mean, he might have been around there, but he had to make a jump after that win.
I don't know what it was for him. I agree with you.
Yeah. Great stuff on that. Harry, are you excited about Jim Bones Mackay on the lead analyst?
I am, actually. Of course, he was doing, this type of thing before he went back to caddying for JT. But I know he's really, really good. I mean, if you ever seen on Golf Channel, those when they play with a tour pro and they play a couple of holes and he narrates and hosts some of those, and he's just brilliant. I mean, he knows exactly what to say, exactly what the, questions to ask or whatever. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, we'll see.
You don't like him?
I don't know. I don't know. I like him in short form. I like him on the course. I don't know about. I don't know. He just is like always so serious. Like I like a little
serious.
I like a little levity in my analysts.
You like a little Kisner.
Yeah,
I do too. I do.
Because the main guy is always the straight guy, right? So like you need somebody.
Dan Hicks is straight enough.
Yeah. Have you made your decision for one and done?
I have not. I'm in a quandary. Tony Finau's prohibitive favorite, as he should be. He's by far and away the best player in the field. The field kind of suffers this week, and I have a question about that I want to pose to you. But I'm torn between him because I'm thinking, like, when am I going to use him if not this week? You figure, like, well, if you burn him and he doesn't win, is it kind of a loss? And
right.
I get that, and he's finished second and he's finished first, and that was when John Rahm was in the tournament both years. Rahm won it 2 years ago. Tony finished second. Finau won it last year, and I think beat Rahm by 3 shots. So this golf course and this kind of grass, he's not the greatest of putters normally, but this kind of grass is slower, and he seems to love this place. So I'm between him and maybe a Grillo, Emiliano.
Okay. I went with Højgaard. I went with Nicolai Højgaard.
Oh, you've already done it.
Yeah, I locked it in. Lock it in.
All right.
Yeah, I locked it in. But let's roll right into the Mexico Open. Not the greatest field, right? We know that's what happens here. Before the top 50, you have Finau defending, as you mentioned. You have Højgaard, Grillo, Ryan Fox. Rahm won here in 2022, as you mentioned. Definitely strokes gained off the tee are key here. Wide fairways, and as you mentioned, the slower greens. So some guys find their putter at an event like this. But it's at the well, I'll let you just roll into the course, of course, Harry.
Oh, you want to? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This is the Mexico Open at Vedanta Vallarta, Mexico. Over there near Puerto Vallarta, I believe, on the western side of Mexico.
Well, they mentioned the designer much during the broadcast.
That's interesting you asked that because they should. It's Greg Norman, but of course with his, being Mr. Live, maybe not. But he designed it. He does a great job, I think, and I like most of his golf courses.
Yeah.
Almost 7,500 yards, par 71. Like you mentioned, very large, wide fairways and large greens. To go with very large bunkers. There's 106 bunkers on this golf course, and a lot of them are big and steep. You're going to see the Ameca River and the Sierra Madres Mountains in practically every camera shot. We talked about the Paspalum grass. It's Paspalum rough, fairways, and greens. 4 par 5s, and 3 of them are on the back. Number 12 stretches out to 640 yards. And then you got number 14 and number 18. They close with a par 5 here. So a lot of drama with guys that, obviously can get there in 2 and, post a birdie or maybe an eagle to win a golf tournament. 5 par 3s, 3 of them are on the back. 11, 13, and 17, and some tough par 4s on the back. Number 10 played as one of the toughest holes in the first 2 years. It's the direction is usually dead into the wind. It's 475 yards, and they have a tough time. Some of these guys had a tough time reaching it in 2. They just come up to the front of the green. So watch out for that. Number 16 is a par 4, 505 yards. 24 under won it last year. So you got to make a lot of birdies. We mentioned Finau beating Rahm by 3. And a couple of guys that are in this field. Grillo finished tied for 5th last year. Wyndham Clark, who's not in the field this year, actually finished T24 last year. The field was a little bit better last year. And I want to pose this question to you. Tommy Fleetwood has yet to win a PGA Tour event. Why is Tommy Fleetwood not in Mexico competing in this event just to try to, he'd be the best player out there? Him and Finau going at it on Sunday. Fleetwood gets his win and gets the monkey off his back, as they say, and maybe the floodgates open, as the broadcasters love to say, after you get your first win. I mean, really, what's he doing?
It makes you think how important is winning to all of these guys.
Yeah.
Right? When you're filthy rich because you play the sport, some guys we know just want to win. They don't care.
Right.
Others, I'm not sure about.
I get they don't really care about the $1.5 million or $1.6 million that they're going to win, but he needs a win.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the finish is pretty good here. The 16th is a long, tough par 4, fairway bunkers on the left. There's 3 bunkers guard the front of the green. 17 is a long par 3, long carry over water with a big bunker between the water and the left side of the green. And then we mentioned 18, the par 5. Big bunkers on the left. It's kind of a soft dog leg, left to right, big native area on the left, large green with 2 big bunkers in the front. Now, it's a weak field, but for a Sunday afternoon when it's going to be cold outside, what else are you going to do?
That's right. That's right.
Bet on golf.
Beautiful scenery. Yeah. And speaking of bet on golf, Harry, let's see the line with our friends from Draftkings Sportsbook. Couple guys I'm keeping an eye on this week. Jonathan Vegas, T22 Waste Management. He's got a nice number at 5,000. Austin Eckroat, I like him in a top 5 at plus 1,100.
Wow.
Taylor Pendrith, 2,500. And Højgaard, his number's short, right at 1,400, but he's got 5 top 5s, a T2 at Corrales Punta Cana, which also has slower greens, so he could get the win. And then EVR, I'm still riding the EVR train. Joggers, it's a jogger crew for life, and I gotta run with my man EVR.
Absolutely. I think EVR is playing with Grillo the first 2 days.
I like that.
And it's a pretty good grouping they have. You mentioned some great names. Patrick Rogers is a guy we don't talk about much, but he's finished 10th here both years, 22 and 23. Plus 150 for a top 20, and I'll take him in a matchup at minus 120 over Davis Thompson. Steven Jaeger, he was 18th last year, 15th back in 2022, playing some good golf. He almost won at the Farmers, fell down the board a little bit, I believe he finished 3rd, and that all happened on Sunday. He's plus 125 for a top 20. Brandon Wu is a little bit of a long shot, but he finished 3rd last year and 2nd in 2022. I'll take it at top 20 at plus 200, of course, and plus 4,500 to win. We mentioned Grillo. He was 5th here. He's good on Paspalum, plus 280 in the top 10. And another long shot, Cam Champ, has 4 straight missed cuts coming into this tournament, but he was 8th here last year and 6th in 2022. He's plus 5,000 to win. We know how far he hits the golf ball. He's got a couple of wins. He knows how to get it done. And he's not the greatest of putters, so I think the slower greens will help him out too.
Very good. Interesting.
Yeah. How about the fantasy contest from last week?
Yes, sir.
Yes, finally I got some money.
In the green.
Matt Minjone and I, Matt's a member at 1912 Club, a really good player. We had 3 of the same guys on our team, including Hideki. And I'm looking at the score. I'm like, there's no way I can catch him, because every time my guy would make a birdie, his guy did too. So I'm like, we just pulled away from everybody else, but finally got some coin.
Great call. Great call with Hideki. Harry, in addition to golf, betting on golf, our friends at DraftKings are also the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So make sure you get in all the action on DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in bonus bet. I'm looking right now. You got the Sixers at home against the Knicks that are a pick'em. Interesting. A lot of action in the NBA. We know a lot of our guys love firing in on that. So make sure you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code DING. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code DING. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. One no sweat bet per new customer, issued as one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Tremendous job with that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we did you see we have some breaking news in the
Talking
world
about
of
the
golf.
Masters? We talking about the Masters news or no?
No, that's something else that you have, obviously. But I saw this morning, and I retweeted it under the Swing It and Ding It Twitter feed. This is from the Rick Shields podcast, and Nuclear Golf says, after previously resigning his membership, Sergio Garcia says that he's planning to rejoin the DP World Tour next year and will play the minimum 4-event threshold required to be a member in an attempt to be on the Ryder Cup.
Whoa, boy.
How about that?
Go. There we go. The Ryder Cup will be changing for Team Europe. We know that.
I think so.
Yeah. They're going to bend a little bit. Yeah, but the Masters have given a special invite to Live Golf's Joaquin Niemann.
Oh, wow.
Along with Thornborg Olsen and Japanese golfer Hisatsune.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, yeah. Joaquin,
wow.
Yeah. I would have thought Louis Oosthuizen would have maybe. He had played really well, but they gave a little carrot to the Live guys. Interesting.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah, I guess Louis' exemption from that Open Championship a long time ago is probably gone by the boards by now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, listen, thank you to Mike Bowman for joining us. Make sure you check out Valley Forge Tourism and Montgo Golf. Great courses, great public courses too. Go check them out. And we'll see what happens in Mexico as we inch ever closer to the first major of the year. And we'll be back next year to recap it all. Thanks, Harry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Talk soon.